Everyone, and welcome to This Week in Hearthstone, week number 12. And before I get into our top story, I just wanted to thank everybody. Last week on this very video, I'd said if we hit 10,000 subs, we do like a big thing, and we did a big tier list yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, please do. It's an epic one. It's all the classic cards. It's a juggernaut. It's crazy. It was a fun video to make. And, you know, we did the giveaway and all that stuff. And I just want to thank everybody. This channel has been growing so much. And the fact that we hit 10,000 subs in, like, just around 8 months is unbelievable. And we're still climbing. We've gained, like, another 400 or so since then. So thank you guys for that. Anyways, enough with the sappy stuff. Let's get into the top story. And that is, there is still a lot of kind of controversy stuff going on with duels. People are kind of concerned about it. Like, people are like, the main thing I keep hearing is like, is it pay to win? Is it worth it? Like, should I do duels? All that stuff. We made a video on that already on is it worth it? Regis did one as well. And you know, we're saying basically right now, not really, but if you get like early access through drops, like right now on Twitch, if you watch Hearthstone streams, even if you just have it on in the background, you're not even watching it, you can get a drop to access duels. So it's definitely worth it then. You get free access. Why not? Or if you're pre-ordering anyways, you want the packs, you don't care about duels, you get access, then yeah, it's worth it. But yeah, other than that, don't bother. But what I wanted to get into today is really dive into, like, is duels pay to win? Is it good to succeed as, like, an actual mode? And the more we're learning about it, the more I'm kind of concerned. And the more I play it, the more I'm kind of concerned. And I'm going to go over two things. So first is the pay to win barrier to entry aspect of it. So, like, right now, you have, like, classic, you have Skullomance, Nex Ramus, and Karazhan is the sets you can use to build your core deck. And, you know, right, two of those are wild sets, two of them are adventures that you can only get through either spending money on it or crafting the cards. So, you know, that kind of sucks for people that didn't hold on to their wild cards, because basically they've been conditioned not to. You know, it's standard is the only mode that's ever really mattered to Blizzard in terms of that stuff. And until like 8 months ago when they said this new mode would factor in wild cards, it was like, oh, well, I already disenchanted them years ago. So, you know, that was kind of a little too late for that. But anyways, I don't think that's super crazy relevant, honestly. Like, you only start with like 16 cards, right? And the more decks I'm building and the more like success I'm having with, like, I've had a 12-ring run with Warrior and Hunter. I barely run any wild deck cards. Like, I think I had like Nerubian Egg and Kindly Grandmother in my Hunter deck. And I think my Warrior deck had actually no wild cards at all. And, you know, there are some wild cards that you can throw in there, but honestly, it just doesn't matter that much. What really matters is, like, what hero you're picking, like what hero and hero power you get, the treasures, and then the passives. The passives are huge. And then, of course, the buckets you're offered. And the buckets can be wild cards and all that, but you don't have to own them. Like, you're not restricted to that. So I feel like the pay-to-win aspect that people are complaining about in terms of wild cards, which I brought up as an initial concern when it was announced, isn't that big from what I can tell, and I don't think it's going to get that big. With the 16-card deck size starting and the way the power creep has gone in standard for years, you know, the wild cards aren't, you know, they don't dictate a ton. Like, it just doesn't matter that much, so you can kind of, like, breathe a sigh of relief on that. The issue I'm seeing is, like, the hero powers matter so much. Like, you get Warlock, you can't do anything, right? Because the hero power sucks. Or the treasure sucks. Like, the treasure you can start. There's, like, 6 initially, but right now we only get 1 for each class. They're a big deal. Like, that Paladin one, that weapon is absolutely ridiculous. It can be really powerful. You know, it's 18 damage over 3 turns, and you can cheat out legendaries. That's crazy. Whereas Warlock buffs a demon if you play it. Like, that's just nothing in comparison. And what I've heard and what I've seen is that these, like, hero powers and, like, the treasures are going to be linked to your card collection to unlock them. Like, to unlock them, from what I read, is you're going to need to unlock specific cards, like rares, epics, legendaries, that will then unlock these abilities, whether it's hero powers or treasures. And that's really alarming if that is the case. Like, I don't know if, like, I've read it like on Reddit, Twitter threads and all that, and it sounds like that's what's going to happen. And then it really does feel like it's behind a paywall. Like, you really need to have a lot of cards to I feel like to unlock, like, treasures or hero powers, it should just be like, you know, like an XP grinder. You unlock it playing a certain class a bunch. Like, I mean, that's how you unlock, like, you know, golden cards or new cards initially when you're leveling your hero in standard. I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be linked to other cards. So that's kind of concerning. And the other issue I have is the heroic mode, which is like the mode that'll be enabled to be competitive. If it's priced like Arena, it's going to be a gold sink. You can't really average 7 wins or more the way that Duels is right now. Like, as good a player as a lot of people are, myself included, it's basically impossible to average 7 wins. So if you're going to sink yourself into that heroic mode and it's literally priced the same as Arena, it's just going to be a gold sink. It's just the variance, the unbalance, and the hierarchy of the mode is way more than like Arena is at all. Like, you can't really give yourself that competitive edge that you get at Arena through drafting well and playing well. Like, the passives, the treasures, the heroes are going to dictate way too much. And I'm worried about it because I want the heroic mode to be cool. I want to play like competitive duels. I just hope that they scale the pricing and like the buy-in and all that appropriately, so that it is possible to at least break even. Because if you're always going to lose, you're just never going to want to play the mode. It's just not going to be worth it. And I want it to be worth it. So these are my big concerns about Duels. I wanted to get them out there. I get asked about it a lot. And it's a slow news week, so I thought I'd cover that. So yeah. Overall, still excited about Duels. I think it's a fun, dumb, stupid mode to play when you don't want to play ladder, you don't want to play Battlegrounds. I just want it to be, have a good future. So I hope the paywall of like the passives and all that isn't what it is, and I do hope that like heroic mode is actually sustainable, that you can play it and not just lose gold and just never bother because it's not worth it. Our next story is Dave Kosak announces resignation from the Hearthstone team. If you're not aware of who he is, he's the lead mission designer for Hearthstone. He had been there since 2016 in November. And, you probably saw him in the last, reveal trailer for the latest expansion. He was one of the main characters there. I think he's even on the Battle.net launcher still, despite the fact he's leaving. And yeah, he's moving on to basically start up his own gaming company. And it's a continuing trend of, these high-up members of Team 5 on the Hearthstone team leaving. We had Dave Kosak, we had Mike Dene, of course, Ben Brode, famously a few years ago. There's been a lot of people leaving, and I mean, it's probably just the natural fluctuation of how things work in a big gaming company. People, they want to move on, try different things, not work on the same game year in, year out. So I wouldn't read too much into it, but you never know. I've always you hear these rumblings of Activision and Blizzard not exactly treating their employees amazingly well, not paying them amazingly well. They had the record profits a couple of years ago, and then they laid off a bunch of people at the same time, which created that whole controversy storm with Savid's wife and them calling out their community manager and that whole fiasco that got Savid's blacklisted. It's just been messy. So you wonder, all these high up guys that are, they got to be pretty comfortable, are leaving a pretty comfortable gig to just get out and do their own thing. But wanted to wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors, doing whatever he does. I'm sure whatever company or gaming company thing he starts will do great. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I just thought I'd put that out there that, yeah, another key member of the team has moved on. Next, we're going to take a look at a meta update for both Standard and Wild. Things, aren't changing up a ton. We had the nerfs about a week ago. We're waiting for that next expansion to really spice things up. But in Standard, Soul Demon Hunter is definitely, one of the best decks out there. Pin Flinger's in there now. I've been trying it. I'm not in love with it, but it works. Just highlighting the Pin Flinger list here. I hit Legend with it today, literally half an hour ago. I played a little bit off stream, got to top 25 Legend, and yeah, the Pin Flingers are there to kind of help with the Paladin matchup, get Divine Shields away of silences. But one interesting deck that actually did pretty well, someone got rank 1 Legend day 1, so take that for what it is. It's day 1 Legend, but Heelzoo seems to be making a little bit of a comeback in Standard. You have Voodoo Doctor, the Gandling Legendary to give yourself some 4/4s, and you're doing Raised Dead and cheating out some Flesh Giants, and if you want to play Warlock, and it's a tough thing to play Warlock in Standard right now, you might want to give Heelzoo a try. And in Wild, it's kind of crazy how things have changed. Darkglare Warlock is back to basically almost being potentially the tier S broken deck it was before the nerf. People have figured out that yes, you can still abuse infinite mana regeneration with self-damaging effects by optimizing the list to be a lot lower curve, and just, yeah, people are doing really well. On NAU and Asia, all the top Legend players are basically all Darkglare players again. It's Darkglare Warlock City, and it's pushed Quest Mage out of the meta again, and we're looking at a Darkglare and Reno Priest meta with some hyper aggro in there. And I don't know. Are we going to go back on, we got to get Darkglare nerfed? I think we wait and see what the next expansion comes out. But yeah, I mean, Darkglare was an issue before, and it appears to be an issue again. And it'll be interesting to see what happens if it remains this way after the next expansion, what will happen. But yeah, I'm just highlighting the latest Darkglare Warlock craze. If you want to give it a go, you want to dominate again with it, just be aware it's not the easiest deck to play. It's not straightforward like aggro deck. You gotta, do your mana turns, cheat out your giants, time your Lotheb. But yeah, give it a go if you want. But yeah, Darkglare Warlock is back, and it is pretty damn good and wild. And lastly, no GM segment. There's no Grandmasters going on. I want to talk about, there were 2 duels tournaments this weekend, or this week. There was one hosted by like Twitch rivals. I think Crip hosted it. And then there was one by Slissa and like Play Hearthstone. And Slissa's tournament that wrapped up yesterday was won by Fino and Dog. They both won, I believe, $4,000. The runners-up were RDU and Tice, getting $2,000, and Shady Bunny and Educated Collins coming in third with a grand, so congratulations to them. And then Crip's tournament was like a 2-team tournament thing going on. Team PJ Salt versus Team Baby Rage. Zalay was Team PJ Salt's top point earner, Bunny Hopper, the top point earner for Baby Rage. And the winning team, I believe, was PJ Salt, which consisted of the members of Firebat, Language Hacker, Trump, Dexter, Regis Kilbin, Ali Straza, and Slissa. So congrats to them. Hopefully there'll be more like duels tournaments, maybe more accessible to like non-streamers or people that aren't blacklisted by Blizzard. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But, I like the duel stuff. It's pretty cool to check out, and congrats to them for participating. And apparently the tournaments were pretty fun to watch. So if you want to check out the VODs, check out those Crip or Slissa streams. They'll be there. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video today. That's This Week in Hearthstone. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. Stay salty, my friends.